This question comes from CatZeal26, I think. If not, I'll put your name right here, just in case I said it wrong. They asked, I would like to know how your parents and family dealt with the car accident and when did they find out about it? My mom was the first one in my family to find out about the accident because she was the one who was called first because they needed her in the ambulance with me. This lady who was gardening, we were the one, well, we had gone off into her yard in this ditch, and, she had come over and, she had called my mom and said, are you Brianna's mother? And she was like, yes. And she was like, your daughter's been in a severe accident. She's very injured. You need to get down here right away. She told us where we were, and, my mom's like, what? They were, I'll be right down. And so, she runs out of the house, and actually this all transpired at 5:30, and my mom had gotten a call from my dad at like 5:10 saying that he was being admitted into the hospital for what he had done. And he said, do not come up to the hospital, stay at home, cook dinner. They're probably just gonna run some tests. I'll probably be in here maybe a few more hours. And so she said, okay, and and then 20 minutes later, not even 20 minutes later, she gets this phone call from this lady. And so she's running out of the house, she's calling my dad back saying, Brianna just got into an accident. And he was like, oh, make her, have her come to the hospital on that. And I had already chosen that hospital. I didn't know my dad was being admitted into that hospital. And I said, oh, I want to go here, because they asked me where I wanted to go. And, my mom, it was backed up, and my mom was actually very, very lucky that a firefighter was, walking up on the road, and, she was beeping her horn, getting his attention, and said, my daughter was in this accident, I need to get to her. And so he said, okay, come up and, drive right through. He stopped traffic, and she was able to get to me, and we went off to the hospital. And as we're going up in the ambulance, my mom had called my cousin, Crystal, and, and it went on from there, just calling people saying I was in an accident. And, they were horrified at first, and, to hear a phone call that your family member was in an accident, it's a very scary thought, because my uncle, who lives in Long Island, he's been in a lot of accidents traveling back and forth to New York City every single day where he works. And he's been in many, many accidents, and it's so scary to hear, like, oh, I got into an accident, because you don't know what to picture. You don't know if they're injured. It's so scary, and I could only imagine what was running through their minds. But right now, they're dealing with it greatly, because they see that I'm healing well and that I'm taking it in a great positive attitude, and I think that's what they need to see. And I'm a very strong person. Everybody asks me, how am I doing? And I always say I'm fine, even if I'm in the slightest pain. I don't want people worrying about me, so I'll always say that I'm fine. This question comes from Delaware Valley Girl. I think there's a number. 67. They asked 3 questions. First question, what/who got you into wanting to vlog more? I actually answered that question, so if you didn't see that question in one of the videos, I'll put a link down in the description below to where that video is, or a link right here actually, to go watch that video. Another question, do you go to church? Yes, I do go to church. I am a Christian. I do believe in God. I do believe in heaven and Jesus, and yeah. Next question, do you remember your dreams when sleeping? There are a lot of dreams that I do remember while I sleep, and it's actually funny that you asked that, because ever since I was 5 years old, I've had this dream where I was at my old house, and it's happened, it's reoccurring every single night ever since I was 5 years old. And it's not the first dream that I have, but it's it's in there. Sometimes it is the first dream that I have, but what it is, I used to have this long driveway. I mean, I have a long driveway here, but I used to have this long driveway, come down, you could go that way or this way. and those were little 2 parking areas. And when you come in this way, there were trees, and I had pictured that I was 2 houses over at my best friend's house, and that guys were knocking on her door, and we were all home alone by ourselves, and so we ran out the back door of her house, ran over to my yard, and they had seen it, and they were chasing after us, and they had really big guns, and somehow she got away, my friend, and I was standing there. Nobody was home at my house, and I was just screaming bloody murder, help, 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 and so all these guys are like standing around me, and I'm like 6 or 7, in the dream. At the time when I had my first dream of that, I was 5, and I was like 6 or 7 in this dream, and so these big guys are standing there with big, like, huge guns, shotguns and rifles and all that, and they actually shot me in my back a whole bunch of times, and all I remember was I was trying to hide from them and run away, but I couldn't, and I ended up getting shot in my back, and I have that dream every single night, and it's really, it kind of scares me, but I'm used to it now, and I do go to a psychiatrist, and I've talked about that dream, so thank you for asking about that. This one comes from, who should I take it from? Oh, here we go. Simple and cute. I'll put your thing right here. You said you were lesbian, so do you plan on getting married and having kids or adopting kids? Yes, I am gay, I'm a lesbian. I do plan on getting married, and I do plan on having kids. I want to have between 3 and 5 children. I want to have a mixture of boys and girls, but mostly girls. And I want to adopt 1 child, and the rest I want to have on my own, but that'll be, transpired between me and my spouse, and we'll talk who wants to have the baby and whether it's going to be me or her, and I would love to carry kids, and that's always been my dream, is to carry children and birth them. And so the plan is when I'm ready to have kids, when me and my spouse are ready to have kids, we're going to go to a sperm donor, and I'm going to get a sperm donor, or my spouse's, and have a baby, and that's all gonna be recorded, all of it. Like I said, I'm not gonna stop vlogging ever.